Okay, I got 7 o'clock. This is the Farmington Town Board meeting for December 9th. And the first thing on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. And Josh, would you lead us, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes. You have one public hearing tonight. I'll have town clerk. Notice.
Please take notice that a public hearing will be held by the town board of the town of Farmington on December 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Farmington Town Hall, 1000 County Road 8, Farmington, New York, to adopt the Open Space Index Update 2025. Any resident of the town of Farmington shall be entitled to be heard upon this matter at such public hearing, this by resolution of the town board of the town of Farmington.
Thank you. Ron, you want to give a little synopsis?
Yeah, the Environmental Conservation Board is charged under the Town Code, Chapter 9, with maintaining the open space index. And the Conservation Board has updated that index, which was last updated a few years ago. They've put together a document that has been reviewed, made available to the public, both online and in the town clerk's office, and is ready for your consideration tonight. Once adopted, the document has to be filed with the Department of Environmental Conservation in Albany and with the Region 8 office. It identifies the open space areas in the community based on different categories. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the volunteer effort that went into this over the past few years with a number of changes of board members. But I believe we have a product here tonight that is worthy of consideration. Thank you.
I'm glad you mentioned that because the committee had a turnover of personnel, so it took a little longer than we wanted to get through the whole process.
It is a item called for in the comprehensive plan. It is being completed within the timeframes outlined in the plan, so I think we're in good shape if we move forward tonight.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'll open it up. Anybody in the room or online have any questions or comments on this public hearing for the Open Space Index? Ed.
Yeah, I can make a comment. On behalf of the planning board, can I thank the Environmental Conservation Board for their contribution to the town for the update of the town open space index report. With the adoption of this OSI document, town board and the planning board looks forward to the coming year. And the OSI is indeed an important concept or component, I'm sorry, of the ongoing comprehensive plan.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else? Any comments?
No, just thank the conservation board for the work. Chairperson was here 2 meetings ago and gave a brief summary of it. Appreciate the time.
Okay. If anybody else?
Just my understanding is that Brian has a work commitment tonight, could not be here. But he extended his hope that the town board would adopt this document.
All right, with that, I'll close the public hearing. Next thing on the agenda is the town board minutes, and Councilman Cassell is necessarily absent.
Second.
Motion by Nate, second by Steve. Any corrections or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Privilege of the floor or public concerns? Any privilege of the floor or public concerns this time? Anybody online? Public concerns, privilege of the floor? Okay, we'll go to reports of standing committees, Public Works.
Yeah, Public Works, met this morning, 7 o'clock. Got our updates from Water and Sewer and Highway and Park. I'll start with Water and Sewer. At the treatment plant, they did, take in the delivery of 4,000 gallons of the new product, EPIC 70, that they started to use and tested okay. They're still hauling sludge 2 days a week, 2 loads 2 days a week. The east secondary clarifier, was not, pumping sludge, and they had to, restore a sludge line to get the flow going again, and they got that back up and running. Let's see, Frogger Wildlife is still, on their rodent program. Pump station ongoing maintenance is still ongoing. We talked about various different pump stations and what they've been doing. New York, State Fence finally was there to locate the Southgate keypad and got that repaired. They had a little blown fuse there that they had to fix to finish that up. They had a landscaping issue on Eleanor Road. A homeowner installed a berm and a pine tree right over the easement that had to be corrected. They disassembled the old RBC, is still continuing. North set of 4 have been demoed and backfilled, and they got more to go there to do there. They coordinated or corresponded with the New York State DEC on spill prevention and response. Let's see here, we had, Star Trek, order new thermostat mixing valve for the digester heater exchanger #2. The influence building heating issue, not enough electric capacity for electric boiler. We talked about that this morning. We're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do there. Talked about different options. Let's see, general comments, they performed a hydrant flow test on Hook Road. That is pertaining to Fire Station #2 expansion project. They did some hauling in a crusher run to restock their on-site pile. They obtained 10 gallons of, there's a bunch of things they did for the brickyard tank things. They got 10 gallons of sodium hydrochloride to put into the water in the tank. They started up the Ross altitude valve there too, and that is now online. They're saying everything's sampled good. Get to the next page. They read meters for the next billing cycle. They replaced the burnout sump pumps, the PRV vaults. They've been working on checking all the PRV vaults. They called in for a private water main break on Blue Spruce Drive. They also had a water main break on County Road 8. Installed the vacuum breakers. That's some more of the Brickyard Road tank sample taps. Contacting customers, have not provided backflow. We talked about the backflow preventing devices. Some of the people have not tested their devices. That's all I have for water and sewer. Highway and Parks, equipment maintenance, plowing, salting roads, painting shoulders around town, repairing signs that got knocked down. They've been cutting trees up that have been falling and leaning, sweeping roads, cleaning up trucks and shop. Fire extinguishers and ladder inspections have been done. Snow blowing the sidewalks. Parks have been cleaning up summer equipment, plowing and salting parking lots and sidewalks. They put out the Christmas tree here at the town hall. They worked on security alarm at the court. They've been cleaning up their shop, and they took insurance personnel around to inspect buildings. The court security alarm was looked at, and also the boiler at the lodge. It is. They got 4 resolutions. You can talk about that if we need to when the time comes. That's it.
Thanks, Ron. reports of other officials, town officials, supervisor. Nate, town operations, thank you. Mike's now over here going, hey.
Town operations
Go
met this
ahead.
morning. One resolution, the adoption of the open space index. The Farmington Meadows incentive zoning project, the Ontario County Planning Board's gonna be reviewing that, tomorrow night. We have a public hearing scheduled for that at our next town board meeting on the 23rd. PRC met, last Thursday on the 4th, and the draft minutes, posted for that later. The fish property, the solar, project, the engineer, reported at the project review committee meeting last week. They're going to be submitting a revised application to the town. Staff will review and see if it is complete and ready for referral to the planning board. If it is, then they'll get it at their January 7th meeting. Have a chance to look at it and then schedule a public hearing for the planning board. I can't imagine there'll be too much public comment on the solar project.
Oh, yeah.
The last one only took, I think, 2 years to get to the public hearing, so. Another solar project, located on, Route 96 over near County Road 8. We're waiting on an application for a special use permit and site plan approval. There's a potential issue with the, proposed access road onto the property. We don't have any reports that it's actually built to town specifications, and it goes over a bridge that we don't know how it was built, over a DEC creek, so have to sort that out. The fire station number 2 expansion, that's the one at Hook and 96. Proposed to go from approximately 5,500 square feet to about 18,500. A lot more useful for the fire members. Hopefully have the preliminary site plan to the planning board early next year. Town newsletter went out. Everything else will be posted, and everyone else will have the reports.
Thank you, Nate. Appreciate it. Supervisor, tonight we have the 2026 wages approved for all our employees. Last Tuesday, I visited Ontario Cares New Epic Zone Youth Clubhouse, FLX Unity Center in Geneva. This is totally organized to serve the teens and local families in the city of Geneva. Last Friday, I attended the Ontario County Sheriff's Holiday Awards Luncheon, where the sheriff recognizes employees for longevity of service and other awards such as DWI Officer of the Year, Communications Officer of the Year, Corrections Officer of the Year, and Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. Today I had my Ontario County Economic Development Committee meeting, and they do have a new hire in the EDC office to work on community development. Her name is Melody Kuznar, who is also a Farmington resident. Tomorrow I have 2 county meetings, the Government Operations and Insurance and Ways and Means committee meeting. And then our Board of Supervisors meeting is Thursday, December 18th. And lastly, right here in this room, tomorrow afternoon, Assemblywoman Andrea Bailey and her staff will hold office hours here for residents from 3:30 to 5:30. But the word. And that's all I had. Highway and Parks.
Just a couple things to add to the report. Jeff tried to get to me before Public Works this morning, but he wasn't able to. He thought it started at 7:30 instead of 7, but he told me that New York Fence did get a hold of them. They'll be coming down to install the fence at the basketball court at Mertensia, and the backstop out at Farmington Grove Park in the next week or 2. So those will be installed. He also said that Landry looked at that boiler at the lodge and determined that it's just a flame sensor.
Flame sensor?
Yeah, so it doesn't appear to be a gas issue at this point, but yeah, so that's good news. No warranty. The wearable item apparently. Mm-hmm. So,
Town clerk. Water and sewer.
Yeah, as Ron mentioned, the Brickyard tank is finally online. We have completed the draining the existing tank. We're noticing the tank online that we're seeing a nice gradual smoothing of all the pressures throughout the system. It's a nice benefit. We've begun monitoring the tank vitals to get familiar with this operation and build a data history that we can fall back on when we have any issues. I just wanted to thank my own staff, the engineers and Department of Health for our guidance and assistance throughout the last couple of weeks of this process of actually getting the tank online. It's a big deal. A lot of work on year-end items here the past couple of weeks, getting budget lines closed out for 2025. And as Ron mentioned, a big effort to get our backflow testing records updated as requested by Department of Health. We spent some time training new staff. We've got a couple of newer staff members on the maintenance of the pressure reducing valves. Had a very productive discussion with DEC Materials Management Division regarding the potential for composting in light of the Ontario County landfill closing in 2028. And our wastewater treatment plant staff are performing some in-house analyses to dial in the dosing of our new chemical.
And Aaron, what was the average flow per day out of?
About 655,000 to date, we see going out of the tank.
Great, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Paula, building and zoning.
I don't have too much. I can give you the counts for permits and inspections. We have 63 permits for the month of November. 98 inspections and 4 fire inspections.
Planning board, Ed.
Certainly, next Wednesday, 17th is our meeting. We have, 2 preliminary 2-lot subdivisions for Doug Payne and the property on County Road 8. As well as consideration of final site plan for the Crosby Enterprises, new building there. So those are the major items coming up.
Great, thanks. Ron, Director of Planning and Development.
Okay, the Project Review Committee met last Thursday, considered some old applications and new ones. One of the old ones was the Fish Solar Project. We've been told that we can anticipate receiving the updated packet of information on December 12th. We'll see if that is true or not. We do have the new project, the Dimension Energy, in the back of the Powerhouse Technology. And as Nate alluded to, there's an issue there with driveway access to the solar farm. It was strongly urged that they might want to consider avoiding having to go through the DEC wetland process, and all the proof of the materials used in that driveway by acquiring an access from adjacent properties, which is more direct and has less of an impact on the wetland issue. Victor Farmington Ambulance finally got their freshwater wetlands permit for that little stream along the south edge of their property. The planning board approved the signing of the amended drawings, and pre-construction meeting was held, and they're busy obtaining building permits so that they can start remodeling the interior of that building, and when weather permits, adding on the addition. Town ops report was posted today, and that's the report for planning and zoning tonight.
Okay, thanks, Ron. No engineer tonight, or assessor, historian, or recreation, agriculture advisory committee. Hal, welcome.
The annual report from our committee is forthcoming. Got work on it today. I can inform you that there will be at least 2 vacancies. Committee going into 2026.
Yeah. It happens. All right, nothing more in the finance besides, resolution tonight to approve the wages. Communications are on file. The minutes are on file. And we'll go to resolutions next. Number one, resolution authorizing the appointment of Kate Ott, RN, MPH, Director of Community Public Health for Ontario County as our local health officer for the town of Farmington for a term ending December 31st, 2029.
So
Second.
By Steve, second by Ron, and that long term is required by New York State. All in favor?
Aye.
Two, resolution authorizing appointment of Caden Lloyd as the acting code enforcement officer, building department head.
So moved.
Motion by Nate, second by Steve. Any questions there? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Three, resolution waiving Retention Lodge reservation fee for Westchester Chapter Bikers Against Child Abuse for January 25th, 2026 for their annual kids winter party.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Ron. I believe we also waived the fees in the summertime. All in favor?
Aye.
Or resolution authorizing the acceptance of the monthly report of the town supervisor for November 2025.
So moved.
Motion by Nate, second by Ron. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Block 5 through 8 with the equipment purchases?
Block 5 through 14.
Yeah.
14A objections, blocking resolutions 5 through 14.
Budget purchases for next year.
Yep. Everybody sees that on the agenda, so their purchases, street sweeper, cold storage building, pickups, Caterpillar Model 265, more pickups, new trailer, and soccer goals for Beaver Creek Park, and our annual order of Badger meters and then. On the block, 5 through 14, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Okay. 15, resolution adopting the Town of Farmington Environmental Conservation Board Open Space Index Update 2025 dated October 2025. Providing notice thereof to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation within 30 days of adoption and directing the EC Board to maintain said document in accordance with the provisions contained in Chapter 14, Article 3 of the Town Code of the Town of Farmington.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Nate, second by Ron. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 16 is a resolution approving the wage list. Just, I'll put them first and a second.
I'll move it. Does say on here 2025.
It's 26.
I'll second it.
Motion by Steve, second by Ron. Again, this process starts in late June, early July, and the board goes right through October. We're doing our tentative budgets, and preliminary budgets, and then final budgets in October. Long process, and includes paving boards, zoning board, planning board also. Board of Assessment Review. So. Between 50 and 60 employees. Any comments from the board?
No, obviously we went through the budget time and lined up in the last couple of weeks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any objections? They'll be able to send out, you'll send it out. 17 is abstract 23 to pay the bills. General fund, 51,931 and 7 cents. Highway fund, $6,123.64. Water tank repair, $65,200. Wood drive capital project, $8,694.48. Storm drainage, $133.85. Lighting district, $2,127.46. Sewer district, $100,243.16. Water district, $7,611.89. For a total abstract, $242,066.15. Any second by Ron? Any abstentions? Questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, we have no training under $100 tonight. Before adjournment, our next town board meeting is Tuesday, December 23rd. Motion. Made, second by Ron, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.